One thing I'm gonna go ahead and point out is a couple of minutes ago I had to go to what do they call it, the Office Depot up there. So while I was going to the Office Depot, I was talking to one of my neighbors over the phone. He actually, is on my YouTube and stuff, whatever. He watches my YouTube channel. So anyways, this motherfucker, he's from California, so he's one of these libtard motherfuckers. Like, I don't fit into no fucking boxing category. I call people out on their fucking shit, whereas these motherfuckers, again, they enable the black males, of course, or whatever. By at first, this motherfucker, nigga ain't got no fucking car and shit or whatever, turns around and blames single black women for why black males do what the fuck they do. Never mind the fact that black women had to forego not just fucking racism but misogyny as well to get the fucking jobs to take care of the fucking kids that black men refuse to take care of. Never mind that. Let's go ahead and black woman bash. Which is why I've been saying for the longest that the white male patriarchal social structure is trying to interject itself into the black community by instituting all these thoughts and standards in black men's minds that, you should be more like us, see this whole patriarchal shit, you should have control over your bitches. But see, black men don't want the responsibility of the patriarchy, which would require them to have to take care of black women as well, in conjunction with having that power. In other words, the power to be able to beat up on and rape and do whatever and treat as fucking property black women as white men once did to their own women. So the patriarchist movement, they know that they're losing in the wider part of society. Same thing with the whole pro-life, anti-choice motherfuckers too. They're interjecting themselves into the black community, you see, by coming in and saying, oh, we need to protect life, blah, 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 because they know they're losing ground in the white community, because the white community, they're starting to get fucking, standards and stuff or whatever, where they see the forest for the trees and they see them for their bullshit. They've been calling it out for the fucking longest. You're putting this fucking war against women as a whole, against white women, black women, Asian women, Latino women, in the whole 9 yards. So they're not having it. They see it for what the fuck it is, because whites tend to be able to fucking critically think. They tend to see the fucking forest for the trees. They may do warped shit, but there's a reason, intention, and intelligence behind it. It's not like with niggas, of course, where niggas are just like, unless you're a sociopath, of course, which runs in every fucking group and category and race or whatever, where, with niggas are like, yeah, let's just go fucking, shoot for the sake of shooting. Let's go fucking kill for them, Air Jordans and shit. Just dumb fucking shit. They do shit for dumb fucking reasons, whereas whites, they have a fucking polarizing, they have a very whatchamacallit reason behind why they do what the fuck they do. There's a very, how do I say this? There's a, I'm not gonna say good, but there's a reason behind why they do what the fuck they do. For instance, colonialism. Let's take all the fucking resources from other lands that isn't on ours. With blacks, it's just like, yo, I'm gonna beat your ass for the sake of ego and to prove that I'm a fucking male, and their shit makes no logical sense whatsoever. That's how black males think. That's how black males in general think. And so with that said, me and this motherfucker got into a debate. At first, he tried to say that, well, it's because, I can tell he's probably one of these Tommy Sotomayor watches and shit. This motherfucker says, well, it's because black men ain't it's because many of these men are growing up without single fathers. Listen, black society before the white man came was fucking matriarchal. We didn't have the men in the home. So why are you sitting up here and, blaming us as an excuse or reason behind why black men do what the fuck they do? Why they're doing what the fuck they're doing? It's got nothing to do with lack of a fucking single father. The second thing he tried to throw out is he say, well, it's economic. Bullshit, no. Look, you got fucking places like Iowa, which is one of the poorest fucking states in the union, right? But yet they still hold this shit down and they still hold this shit together. When was the last time you heard of fucking mass shootings going on in fucking Iowa? People stealing fucking Jordans. You don't hear about that in fucking poor white communities. There's a reason why they're able to stick together. Same thing with the Latinos. They ain't fucking perfect by any means. They got the gains and everything. But when I drive through them, I actually feel 100% safer than I ever would going through a fucking black neighborhood. There's a reason why people get the fuck out of, the black neighborhoods, why black neighborhoods are seen as a come down rather than a come up to live in. And why it's seen as a come up to live in fucking white neighborhoods. There's a reason behind it. There's a logic. There's a rationale. And it's not just, oh, it's white supremacy. There's a reason why before the fucking white man came, and I don't want to hear anybody say this fucking shit, in sub-Saharan Africa, why the fuck they were living in fucking sticks and stones and shit. With no fucking concrete roads until the white man came. And look, when the white man came, when he used to own Rhodesia, when he owned South Africa and shit. South Africa, they were doing well. Yeah, there was fucking apartheid. That shit was wrong and stuff, whatever. But as soon as they gave power of control over to the blacks, it just, went straight to fucking hell. There's a logic and reason and rationale behind it. Blacks in general, it's a lot deeper than what fucking people are hitting it as. There's critical thinking involved, and I think that on a grand scale, blacks tend to lack it. Both the male and female, they tend to lack it. The understanding that, hey, there's something wrong here, there's something not right, but instead they like to deflect and blame everything on, for instance, you see this with black men all the time. It's black women's fault, it's the fucking tornado's fault, I can't, it's tornado's fault why I can't get a fucking job, it's the white man's fault why I can't get a fucking job. No, bitch, it's your fucking fault why you can't get a fucking job. You ain't putting in the job applications. The other day I was at the fucking county courthouse because I had to fill out some paperwork and shit or whatever, but this was for a civil case. This wasn't for anything criminal, and this was something being initiated on my own end, not because of somebody else or anything or whatever, right? So while I was down there, while I was at the county courthouse, they had a Negro who wanted to get his fucking name taken off the rolls and shit or whatever, because he didn't want to support his own fucking, kids. He was like, I mean, if those black women can take the time to take care of their fucking kids. Hell, as a matter of fact, I know a fucking white police officer who fucking, took care of me and shit or whatever. Very cool guy and shit or whatever. He's paying $2,500 a fucking man's probably for going a whole lot of shit just to take care of his motherfucking kids. This is a fucking white man. This is the mentality of white men. White men got their shit together. Black men fucking don't. And it's not because of white supremacy and shit or whatever. There's something, critically speaking, wrong with black men. I don't know what the fuck it is, but there's something wrong. It's this animalistic tendency, again, going back to what I was talking about earlier, of black men to think that macking is okay. Grabbing a whole lot of bitches and making a whole lot of babies you can't support, by the way, is okay. Thinking that, going around and not having a fucking family to take care of is okay. Meanwhile, you're producing babies you can't take care of. Thinking that simping is wrong. Simping meaning equating to taking care of your fucking woman. They think that fucking shit is okay. My fucking dad, who's ethnically Jewish, by the way, was the fucking exception. He wasn't the rule. And yeah, I'll agree. Yeah, there are blacks who are the exception, but they're not the fucking rule. And think about it. At the end of the fucking day, if it wasn't for the white man's tools and utensils and shit, they wouldn't have learned what the fuck they learned. This is not just, fucking being politically incorrect and shit or whatever. This is making very educated observations about truths in society. People feel uncomfortable about confronting. People feel very uncomfortable about acknowledging. There's a lot of truth behind what I'm saying. That's why I get so many fucking downvotes. But going back into it, as I was saying earlier, I'm tired of white liberals and the coddlers and enablers who allow black people, especially in particular black males, to do the egregious fucking acts and attitudes and horrors that they do in the black community. For instance, blaming slavery. Slavery happened a million fucking years ago. The guy who I know, his people are from fucking Greece. Greek people went through all sorts of shit. They went through all sorts of trauma and abuse. Greeks were fucking slaves at one point. You don't see him saying, oh, well, I can't take care of my kids because we were slaves. Get the fuck out of here. That's like me, for instance, saying, well, because I got raped and molested as a little girl, which, didn't happen, of course, but I mean, some shit. That would be like me turning around and saying, well, that gives me the right to go and rape another kid as a result. That's stupid. That's a fucking excuse. Get off them fucking excuses. That's why me and all these other black folks, David fucking Carroll, Tommy Sotomayor to an extent, I don't agree with the fucking misogyny because, again, he's coming, towards us with the whole patriarchal mindset, of course, and all these others. That's why they're saying what the fuck they're saying, and you got all these Afrocentric, T-R-I-C-K, motherfuckers like Umar Johnson, motherfuckers like Tariq Nasheed, all drowning our fucking voices down because they know we're telling the fucking truth about the so-called black community, but nobody wants to hear the fucking white enablers. Of course, they're like, yeah, Michael Brown, he did the right thing. No, Michael Brown was a piece of shit, and Darren Wilson had every fucking right to defend himself against that fucking nigga beast. I can't tell you how many times I've been fucking approached caustically by black males, but you know what? Black males like to deflect, of course, and blame. Well, it was your hair, it was what you were wearing that's at fault, and they wonder why people think of them as fucking animals as a result. They justify their own stereotypes, and they keep them alive. This motherfucker talking about get out of the hood. I live in the fucking whitest neighborhood in fucking America. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Somebody's talking about it. He went in on your video. Black people always trying to start some fucking mess. David Carroll, people like him, I consider him Look, I'm gonna give my personal thoughts about him later, but I'm not gonna, you know, get too much involved in him. I might just go ahead and look at the fucking video. But like I say, there's something wrong with black men, and black men don't want to acknowledge it. What it derives from is, and there's a great website too, it's called Roads to Reality, where it talks about the patriarchy rearing its ugly head into not just Afrocentric, but black thinking circles as well, where black men are turning around and blaming black women for their own personal fucking faults, why they won't do what the fuck they have to do. I mean, all these black men on YouTube knocking black women, talking about, oh, black women do this, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I got droves and droves of personal videos of black men doing violent shit to me, as well as to other women, and to me, and me having to intercede in their fucking instance, in their case, as well as in my own. There's something psychologically wrong with black males, and the more they try to deflect from it and blame everybody else for their fucking systematic fucked upness in the fucking mind's eye, the more shit's just gonna continue and fucking continue as a result, because it starts with them. And as long as they don't acknowledge it and shit or whatever, nothing will ever come to fucking terms with why things are so fucked up in the black community. Again, it's not the women's fault, it's the fucking men for thinking that simping, i.e. taking care of a woman, is wrong. Anyways, have a good day. Goodbye.